Yay Media Group.
I also like, honestly, his money energy. He's got great money energy in this lifetime, just letting you guys know. He'll definitely be able to take care of y'all. He's got he's got one of the most beautiful money placements that we see in very successful charts.
Hey guys, episode 182. Today we have Richard James, the astrologer here. You probably saw him on our live. I'm probably going to have some of the same questions, but he said he has some treats for us today. I'm really excited about this episode.
Yeah, thanks for coming back, Richard.
Always, I'm so excited to be back and have some fun and answer whatever questions you guys have.
I'm already feeling your energy, buddy. It's positive.
I had a lot of people after our live DM me and were like, I wanted to hear more from you because they thought what you had to say was very interesting.
Oh, I think astrology is so cool because I think there's a magic and there's a medicine at the same time. I think, a lot of times we see astrology from the horoscopes, but there's a real medicine to it that can be very cathartic for some people and can give awarenesses to different areas of our life that we're not necessarily familiar with. And so it's kind of cool once you get to look at it a little bit more and you're like, wow, it's way more complex than I thought. And there's so many cool little facets that come through. So I love hearing the interest.
Yeah, so let's start there, Richard. So just for our audience and maybe for ourselves too, explain what an astrologer does. You're not predicting the future. You're reading through the stars, right? So explain exactly what that is.
So essentially what we do is when you're born, at the exact moment you're born, we get a snapshot of your chart. And I actually have an example today. This is what it would look like.
Oh my gosh.
And this is actually Jordan. This is what it looks like when she was born. And what we're doing is we're looking at where every planet and asteroid and star exists at the moment that you're born. And it is mapped out for us to kind of see okay, these are different components that the individual is going to go through or experience from the perspective of that soul's journey is what I always focus on. It's almost like we kind of come here to learn specific lessons. And I look at the chart as an opportunity for us to understand how those lessons can show up for us. The experiences, why do we, have the family experiences we do, the relationships that we do. Astrology kind of gives us an insight into kind of getting that why, why is this happening and what are those lessons? Ultimately so that you can live a happier, more meaningful, more purposeful life where you feel like you understand these lessons and why these certain things happen to us. So astrology gives us that ability to see that. And also, there's a thing called transits in astrology, which is where the stars and the planets are today. And we use that to understand patterns. Really, we're looking at patterns of what has happened and where things are going and cycles that are unfolding from, 7-year cycles to 12-year cycles to, Pluto cycle 249-year cycles. And we kind of map that out to see what it is that we're going through. And then offer those patterns to individual, hey, this is kind of what this pattern represents, what you may experience, what you may feel. Because of when you were born, this may be an approach or different ways that you might want to work with this energy.
Richard, what got you started with astrology? Was there anything that happened in your life, or were you just always gravitated towards astrology? How did you even start?
Yeah, was it a calling of sorts?
It's a great question. And no, that it was definitely not on my bingo card of life. I definitely did not feel like that was a thing for me. I never was in that space where I actually used to think I was a Taurus. And then I realized I was oh, wow, I didn't necessarily know that. I didn't realize I was an Aries. What happened is that I went through what I would call a very crisis point in my life. My mom had gotten diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And the same weekend that this had happened, I lost my home. I was in a 5-year relationship that ended. And I had a marketing business at the time. And that marketing business, I had a client that kind of was the most important client for me. And I ended up losing my entire business to them. And it all happened within a 3 to 4 day period. It was actually in October. And it all fell apart all at once. And what happened is that when that happened, there was something inside of me, I will never forget it, that said, there's a reason why this has happened. You need to sit with this and ask yourself why. And it catalyzed a journey for me where every moment thereafter felt so synchronistic. Like, have you guys ever had a moment in your life where you're like, this is happening for a reason, or there's a sign for you? You're like, this, you can't make this up. It's like those moments where things are happening that feel so out of body. That's what that felt like to me. And I met one girl, I don't know her name, and it was just out of the blue. And she said, hey, like, I feel like you should look at your astrology. She pulled up my chart for me on her phone and she said, this is what it would look like. And I was just so captivated by this because I was like, wait, you're telling me genuinely what started it is I learned that I was an Aries. And I was like, no way. I was like, I don't align with that at all. I can't be an Aries. And I don't match that, what people have told me. And lo and behold, here I am today.
Wow.
Wow. So how does that, like, I get it's kind of like, in a sense, it's positivity, right? Because I'm big on positivity. I'm big on, drilling myself over and over with positivity. And then it's kind of like, if you put your mind there, you'll eventually be there. It's the same thing with negativity. If you dwell in that negative world, you're going to become very negative subconsciously, 100%. Not even know it. Yeah. Do you feel that's the same with astrology because it's giving off good vibes and you're kind of gravitating towards those vibes if you choose to?
It could. The thing is that I feel like what I love about astrology is there really is this, honestly, an unbiased nature to it. Like, I feel it honors the chapters of our life where it's difficult. Like, sometimes we go through difficult cycles, but what I found is it does give you that sort of glimmer where you're like, oh, there is a magic behind why this is happening, why certain things are unfolding. There's a planet in astrology, Pluto, or another planet, Saturn. They have really difficult reputations in astrology. People really villainize these planets. I try to reframe them. I try to work with these and understanding that, is it really this negative, life falling apart energy, or is life really coming together? Is this really where things get really juicy and take off for us? So it really, I find this unbiased part of it where it shows us, where we could be going through a difficult cycle. Like when I see a divorce that's happening or a relationship dynamic that's going to happen. That's not a positive thing. But what it does is when you sit down with someone, you can be like, look, this is happening for a really good reason for you, because maybe you never felt free. And now this is your chapter of freedom, or this is the chapter for you to finally figure out who you are. Like, that's kind of where the positive side comes from. It really allows for us to hold that space for all of our life experiences.
Yeah. And I just kind of want to go back, Richard, for people who didn't watch our live, you came on and had some readings about the final 3 for Big Brother. If you did tune into the live, you saw that. If you didn't, Richard kind of predicted the final 3 that were happening. This was before we talked to him. We got connected to a friend of ours, Shane. Yeah. And before you even talked to me, Richard, I kind of wasn't very public about it. We talked a little on the podcast. I had my mother pass in July, and you were feeling mother energy when you were talking to Shane, and Shane I don't know if he told you or didn't tell you after that, at that point, but you were the one who brought that up.
Yeah. It's unique because when I saw your chart, I have your chart too. The moment that I saw it, I texted him because I was just, I didn't know how personal I can get. I didn't know anything about either of you, and I didn't want to come on here because to me, astrology is very personal. It's a very intimate dynamic when you get to look at someone's chart. I didn't want to come on here and be like, hey, look, what's going on here? Bring up personal things because I didn't know. And he was like, no, you need to bring this up to him. And he said his mom just had passed. And I was like, this started in the summer for him. And he's like, you need to talk to him and bring this up to him because it shows, one, this connects and resonates with you. And when you see it in astrology, I always like to teach this as well. Just because you went through this doesn't mean if anyone's watching this and they go through something similar, doesn't mean a mother is going to pass. That's not what it meant. What I was just picking up on is it was a really important chapter tied to your mother. And so it was just, in a way, it's kind of beautiful for me because I can show you, be like, listen, this was a chapter that you're going through. And it was a very beautiful energy. Like I said, she was like your best friend. It was like that type of connection that actually with one of your children, there's another similar vibe with you guys with one of your children, a very similar connection. And so it's really cool to kind of see how it's been passed down through your family. And so I love it. I think it's such a cool thing to see.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break because I'm ready to dive in.
And me too.
Yeah.
And let's get deep. Okay. So you can just say everything.
You must be a Scorpio. That's the Scorpio energy.
Yes.
All right. We'll be right back.
Okay, guys, you know we love AG1. We talk about it all the time. Now AG1 has AGZ, so you get your nighttime rest, but you're covered. In the mornings, you have your energy, you get all your vitamins, and then at night, you can wind down. I am somebody that has a hard time winding down at night because I'm always running around with my kids, but now I can drink the chocolate flavored AGZ and chill out.
That's right. I start all my mornings with AG1. I've been doing it for years now. And now the last thing I put in my body is AGZ to optimize my sleep. A lot of people try different things for sleep, whether it's magnesium or different products. I'm sure if you're like me, you've tried everything out there on the market. I'm telling you, try it once. Start your morning with AG1, end your night with AGZ, and see how it makes a difference for you.
I take my AG1 in the mornings, 4 ounces of water, 1 scoop, shake it up. I also put vitamin D3, K2 in it, and I also drink my AG1 for my gut health. It always makes me feel so good. And then at night, switch to the AGZ.
I'm already trying to get in shape for the new year so I don't have to start in January. And trust me, if you do the AG1 and AGZ at night, it's not only going to make you feel good, it's going to make you sleep better. And I love the taste of AGZ. I'm a chai guy, and it's got that little chai flavor, something sweet, because I stop eating around 6 o'clock. And if I need that little sweetness at the end of the night, AGZ is where it's at.
And AGZ is an excellent source of magnesium, and that helps you. Go night-night. If you're ready to turn down the stress and focus on the rest, head to drinkag1.com/togetherness to get a free frother with your first purchase of AGZ. That's drinkag1.com/togetherness.
All right, Richard, we're back.
Okay, so I gave Richard our kids' birthday and times when they were born, and we wanted to see how they are comparable with us.
Yeah. Very interesting stuff. So should we start with us, Richard?
Yeah.
Where do you want, wherever you want to start, buddy.
I thought, what's funny is I actually I have all of your charts. I printed them all out so that we could go through them, because I wanted you guys to also see, because I realized last time I didn't get a chance to show you guys how cool the astrology charts, they're cool to see. I know it looks like gibberish, but it's fun when you get to see it come to action. What I actually find really interesting, if I start like at a general level and then we can kind of get deeper, is I have Lawson and Leighton here. And I always am immediately drawn to the fact of like, well, what sign are the children? We're dealing with a Libra and we're dealing with a Virgo. And I love Virgos, by the way. Virgos are very close to my heart because they are very sensitive souls. Very sensitive.
Ooh, wait.
That's Lawson.
Just real quickly, what's Virgo? Is Lawson a Virgo?
Lawson's the Virgo. September 6th.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's funny that you said that.
Weird.
I didn't even know, but yeah, he is a very sensitive soul. But keep going. I'm not going to stop you every time you say something.
No, you're
right.
good.
So
But if you want to add anything, please add it, because it's fun when you have that interaction. So the moment that I see the Virgo sun, it's on the outside. We don't often see how sensitive the Virgo really is, because Virgo is like a supercomputer. It's almost like their brain is always doing something. And it's an constantly over-processing, overthinking supercomputer-like brain. And so what happens is that there's going to be a lot of, and with his specific chart, him and his brother are so close, and Lawson are so close connected, because Lawson's lessons in this lifetime are tied to Virgo and his brothers are Virgo. And so what that's going to do is they're going to have a really important lifetime together as brothers. Their kind of relationship will be something that'll take off in this. Like, there's a lot of lessons that these two are going to learn together. And what Leighton's going to teach his brother is really how to get it together in some sort of way. Leighton is going to have this energy where, similar to his mom, which I briefly talked about, kind of wanting to organize everything and have everything together and have that sort of meticulous energy. She gave some of that energy to Leighton. That energy is going to be very much connected to Leighton. Where Leighton
there's a lot more.
Yes.
There's a lot more that she gave him.
And what's really cool is that that sort of attention to detail, that meticulous nature that we'll see as he gets older, you'll find that it's actually going to be a really big teaching point for his brother. There's going to be moments where he'll bring that energy to his brother. And there's different ways that this can happen in life. It could be in school. It could be as we get older. It's that level where Leighton's going to take up space in this world. He has a really strong chart for someone that is designed to take up space. And when I say that, it could be having an important career for himself, doing something significant, where he wants to express himself, a very creative soul. And so this is someone that you want to support the creative energy, being able to, what do you want to create? What do you want to do? You want to paint? You want to color? What is it that you want to try? Supporting that creative energy is super, super important for Leighton. Now, what was really cool is that there's a thing in astrology called your South Node. And the South Node starts to get into like past lives. It's kind of like what your most recent past life was like. And specifically with Leighton, his mother has her South Node in Libra. And Leighton has placements and planets that are very close to his mother's South Node, which indicates that this is not Leighton's first lifetime with his mother, that they have a deep, kind of karmic bond together. And karma, not in a bad way, but karma as like, y'all have some things to work on together in this lifetime. And he's going to challenge you and you're going to challenge him. And that is a really healthy thing. And what's really cool is that you were born, Jordan, with your moon in Cancer, which is good. I kind of talked about in our first time, can kind of have that mama bear energy, could be very protective. And what's happening is Leighton's going to love some of that protective energy, but also is going to be like, leave me alone. Like, let me do it on my own. And is going to have a very highly independent nature to him. And that is because he was born with his Mars in Capricorn, and Capricorn and Cancer kind of butt heads sometimes. And so I think there's a really beautiful lesson that you're going to experience specifically with Leighton. And what I would say is it all has to do with your communication together. Y'all are going to have a lot of lessons, beautiful lessons when it comes to having warm, loving conversation and allowing our emotions to kind of come through and have that. Again, he's a very sensitive child. And so he needs that sort of sensitive emotional space. And it's not that dad's not important here. I'm sorry, I'm not focusing on dad too much. Dad is bringing in...
No, it's okay.
Dad is bringing in...
everything you're saying, by the way, Richard, I don't want to cut you. Everything you're saying, I'm like, I want to stop you and be like, man, you're right on the money.
I know. That's so weird. Like about the creative, like Leighton's like with art.
Yeah.
Leighton's kind of more independent.
Yeah.
Lawson's all about his friends.
Huge. That's so funny. Lawson and his friendships. We'll talk about that's huge. Actually, it's kind of funny that you just said that.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah,
it's funny. Because it's funny because Leighton, what I wrote down gives me like this creative energy. Like I could see him wanting to do something very creative in this world, whether wanting to have a creative entrepreneurial journey. Like I could totally see something like that with his chart. Whereas with Lawson, it's like this is the social bug. Like this is totally the social energy because his sun, which is in Libra, is in the area of his chart that rules community, friendships, connections, socialization, loves it, is going to want to be that type of person. And what I would say is that when we see this type of energy, wouldn't be surprised, likes charities, wants to help out the community, wants to get involved. Libras love, wants everything to be fair and equal. They really care about wanting everyone involved. Like they don't want anyone to feel like they're being treated differently. And because his son is there, he's going to kind of be a champion of this. I'm going to be the person to make sure everyone is taken care of, everyone is provided for, everyone, it's equal for everybody. So he's going to be the type of person, if he's in school, if there's a kid that is getting bullied, he's going to want to go protect that kid. He's going to want to be like, no, that's not fair for that kid. And he has that energy about him where he's very much about all of us. It's not just about him. It's about us collectively as a team. Like we're a team in this world. And he has that sort of energy about him where he wants to make sure we're all taken care of. And so I love the energy. And what's cool with Lawson in particular is Lawson has a very similar dynamic to Jeffrey. As far as...
Dude, this is crazy.
It's you both have like, and I briefly talked about your dad in our last time together. And you and Jeffrey actually have almost the same exact placement in your charts. So you both have Saturn in your first house. And I thought that was kind of unique because one thing that we talked about is how your dad is becoming kind of like a larger influence in your life. And with you showing up like this for your son, you are a huge promoter for him, wanting him to live his life, wanting to have fun, wanting to go travel, wanting to go do these things. It's a really strong placement for the father figure. And so he learns about life and independence and maturity from you. Like he's going to learn a lot from you. You play a very important role in his life. And so with mom, it's funny because with both of the kids, mom is very safe and comfortable. There's a safety energy that mom brings to both of their charts. In astrology, there's a place in our chart that is kind of like the softest, most gentle space where we kind of like to hide those parts of ourselves. We don't want people to see that part because it's very, very squishy and tender. That's exactly where she shows up in both of their charts. And so what we see with that is that there will always be this very intense emotional connection with both of their parents. With mom for sure, 100%, a very emotional, deep connection here. And with Lawson, and remember how I was talking a little bit before about that South Node, those past lives. Lawson also has something indicating a past life with the mother as well. And so that shows that both of these children are teaching Jordan huge lessons in this lifetime. They will be some of her biggest teachers. And it's exciting for me to see for that. And when it comes to dad, it's almost like they see this sort of, again, it reminds me of this very mature boss-like energy about you that you show them. And you promote their sort of, let's go do this. Like you support their curiosities. Like, I want you to go do this. Like, I want to be there for you. I want to, being that champion for them to kind of show them how something could be or how the potential of what they could achieve. Like that type of energy, they look up to you for that. And so I see this sort of dynamic where I'm getting a lot of emotional lessons with mom, not in a bad way, but just kind of like y'all are working through some things from your past lives where you were definitely.
You even said it like she would say it.
Like
you even said it like she would say, like, y'all are going through something right now.
And what happens is that with Lawson in particular, it's a very, like, this is not your first lifetime being his mother, for sure, without question. Like, huge mother energy between you and him. And I think that's going to be a big lesson for him as he gets older, is he needs to create that sense of independence for himself. He needs to create that sense of autonomy in the world and figure out what that looks like. Very difficult for a Libra. Libra loves others, loves to get that feedback from others. And he's going to want that feedback from mom. Like, I want to make sure mom's okay with this. I need to make sure she's good with this. There's going to be a deep,
like that.
And you could see that, like, I need to kind of get that approval from her. Whereas dad's going to be like, no, do it yourself. Like, learn it. Like, go figure it out. Like, go do this. Like, go learn the lesson. Like, go experience this. So it's almost like you could see the lessons that they're going to go through.
This is wild.
This is exactly right on. Like exactly.
You were spot on.
Thank you.
Because I'm like, in my life, I'm like, just that little piece that you said, there's so much, but I'm always like, you gotta, in life, you're gonna learn, buddy. You're gonna go through hard lessons. He just lost the game this weekend. They were undefeated. I'm like, buddy, sometimes the best thing for you is to lose so you figure out what you did wrong and that's how you get better. That's kind of how I learn. All my worst moments in life are my biggest lessons to not 100%. Do again and get better. And that's how I teach my kids. So that's so crazy.
And Jeff 100%. Is like his favorite, but then he, with me, like you were saying, he needs like approval. He will, if as long as I'm okay, he'll be fine. But if I'm upset, he's like, he'll keep asking me.
Like, are you okay? Because there's a strong connection here for Lawson that again, that protective energy that you have, which you feel over your children and over family, Lawson has that same exact energy, the same exact energy as you do. And so not to compare in this way, but Lawson is incredibly intuitive, just to give you a heads up. You'll figure that out real quick as he gets a very intuitive child, picks up on other people's emotions, other people's feelings, like in the room. Yeah. Like there's a huge gift to that, to this placement. Sometimes some people would use the word psychic, like that's strong energy with Lawson. Because that's something where he's worked on this in his past life. So for him, emotions and intuition, very easy for him to do. And I think that has a lot to do with mom. Like there's a huge connection with mom's energy. Did Lawson ever get to meet his like maternal grandparents?
All right, guys, I don't know if you heard of this new app. It's called Headspace, and it's my new favorite app.
You love Headspace.
I do. I always wanted to get into meditation. Every single year, I write down my New Year's goals. And in January, I always say I want to meditate more. Because with deep breathing, you could get to some weird places in your mind. By weird, I mean good, to help you out. And Headspace is a great place to start if you're looking to do that.
I'm really good with sounds. Sounds calm me, like listen to ocean waves or rain, things like that. That along with breathing helps me.
Yeah, they have something for everybody on this app, including those sounds.
Mm-hmm. Jeff, whenever he first downloaded the app, he called me and was like, this is awesome. It has everything on there.
If you're a total newbie or have been meditating for years, there's always content for what you're going through.
When you're short on time, Headspace has these quick on-the-go programs that help you get to the right headspace in just a few minutes. Plus, with over 1,000 hours of mindful exercises, it's got the most complete meditation library that we have seen. So we can always find something that works for us.
Feel good and mean it when you say it. For a limited time, get Headspace for free for 60 days. Go to headspace.com/togetherness. That's HEADSPACE.com/togetherness to unlock all of Headspace free for 60 days. That's headspace.com/togetherness. You get a free 60 days. What do you got to lose?
My parents are out of town, so it's harder for them to see. But yeah, I mean, I feel like with both my parents, I mean, when they FaceTime, they'll talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like my kids had a stronger bond out of everyone with Jeff's mom.
Yeah.
What's really
They
interesting.
just gravitated towards her.
And what's really interesting, especially with Lawson, I would just say, because of looking at his chart, bringing up the fact again that he's very intuitive, I wouldn't be surprised if he's one that would have dreams of her, that is able to, one day you guys might be going out somewhere and he has a feeling or a thought about her and brings it up. Like he's the one that could be like our sign seer, like sees signs of grandma and brings her up. Like that's this type of energy that this little boy has. And so when those moments happen, we want to support those moments because we want to develop the intuition. This is, again, his chart in particular, it gives me the energy that life is not always going to be linear in the sense where it's not going to go from A to B to C to D. His life is almost like the universe brought you here and you don't have a GPS. You're going to intuit your way on the journey. You're going to figure it out. You're going to have fun. Like, this is meant to be the adventure of a lifetime for Lawson. And so have fun with it. Try not to plan too much. Try to have fun with it. And that's easier said than done, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of his lesson, is to let the details go. And, you don't need to know everything. Kind of sometimes just trust your gut type is a big lesson for him.
Wow. That was very similar to my kind of journey in life, moving to LA, not knowing things, traveling, adventure, kind of just going with it and making the most of it.
Yeah. Lawson's very similar to you.
Yeah.
You could see it. You could totally see the dynamics here. Like, you could totally see Lawson in a similarity with his father, as in Jeffrey with his relationship with his father. There's definitely a strong, the patriarchal lessons in the learning is really, really important. And the beautiful thing is Lawson's receptive to it, right? He doesn't reject the lessons. Like, he's open, like, teach me what you want to teach me and I will receive your lessons, even though sometimes they're hard lessons to learn. Such as, losing is good. That's a good thing to practice. That's a hard lesson for a lot of people to digest, but Lawson has the chart to be like, let's do it. It's a very hard working energy with him. So I think if those types of experiences, he has a beautiful future for himself. And you also said that Lawson plays sports, correct? Is that the one that's playing sports?
Yes. You nailed that. And then the other Leighton's the younger one, and he's like
artsy,
very, very creative side. And we definitely encourage all that. He's always filming himself and dancing and drawing and coloring and putting things together in his room. So we definitely encourage both sides of what they like to do. We like to highlight as well. I
love it. I think that is so cool. With Lawson in particular, he has such a good energy that supports like sports and athleticism and stuff like that. It gives me the energy that Lawson will probably be good at whatever he does in that context. Like, whatever he'll do, he'll be good at. And he'll also probably be the person that everyone wants to be friends with. When you do class superlatives, he'll be on there somewhere. Chances are with that will be like most popular or something like that. Like, he'll have that energy because Libra's charming, but like it's in the area of his life that's all of his friends. He will be the center of his friend group.
That's what he's all about.
Yeah, it's super important for him. And, imagine that in the larger scope of life, this is like community building. You'll find that these types of people get into things that can make a difference. Like they want to make an impact in some way, shape, or form. He's young now, but there may be something he's passionate about that he wants to, he sees the unfairness in a certain area of society or with animals or the environment or something. And he's like, I want to fix that. I want to be the person to work on that. That's where you're going to see his real Libra energy shine so bright, because they have the ability to really make some of the biggest changes in the world. So I love it. I also like, honestly, his money energy. He's got great money energy in this lifetime, just letting you guys know. He'll definitely be able to take care of y'all. He's got he's got one of the most beautiful money placements that we see in very successful charts. So when it comes to personal finance, it's very, very good energy for him. Yeah.
At least somebody in the house will.
Yeah. It's the entrepreneur. Definitely. I don't see him wanting to work for somebody else, probably having his own business or doing something on his own in that space. Like definitely entrepreneur 101 for this one. It's very strong. So it's so cool to see. And what the other thing I was going to say that I just was looking at as I'm talking is, Lawson, we all have this area of our chart. It's our relationships, but it's not only our romantic relationships, it's how we relate to other people. And it's in Gemini. You know any Geminis in the room? And that's Jeffrey. And it highlights that his dad is almost like one of the closest relationships he will have. But also you become the example for what he's going to aspire for in life. He's going to want someone that can have that type of attitude that you have. He's going to want a relationship. It's almost inspired by his dad. It's almost like you inspire him. He wants to be like you in that way. And so, and I feel like it's such a cool placement to share, because you both show up so beautifully in both of their charts. And this is the example I was saying earlier. You said, in the unbiased way, we could sometimes see in astrology where you may have a difficult placement with a parent where you're like, oh, that's going to be rough. That's going to be a tough dynamic here. There's not really, you guys have really nice energy. I could see the lessons that we go through, right? And that's what I was talking about earlier. I think it was with Leighton and Jordan. And it's the dynamic where I think he's going to want to be very independent and strong-minded. And it's almost like mom wants to take care. But he's also, I want to be independent. Let me do my thing. But there's also this very strong bond that keeps you guys very connected.
Yes, I'm very want to be in control. I don't like things being out of order.
Yeah.
I'm very loyal, but I'm very stubborn and I don't forgive anyone if they hurt me. And
that's a Scorpio. If I didn't know anything, that is a Scorpio.
Is it really a Scorpio?
100%. If we want to play the stereotype game. If we want to play the stereotype game, I always say this: you don't want to piss off a Scorpio, because once you do something, you're dead. Like there's no likelihood of coming back to life. Like you sent them to the graveyard, you buried them, you deleted them from your mind, and they don't exist anymore.
That's me.
That is her.
And my mother's the same way, but my mom's a March birthday. But I am very much like my mother. But yes, if somebody makes me mad enough, I will never speak to them again.
And
beside your kids.
And that's totally it's totally your Scorpio energy inside of you. And you want to know what that comes from? You truly of having many past lives of being betrayed, of experiencing what that feels like, and learning the lesson to be like, I don't need to learn this more than once. I'm good. I'm very content with, if this happens once, you're done. I'm putting you in the graveyard and we're not going to come back to this moment again, because you don't need to learn it once. You don't need to learn the lesson twice. Once you got it, you're like moving forward. And that is, I think, comes from a lot of your past life energy. And I'm looking at your chart, by the way, as we're doing it. And it would make sense because your past life placement is so connected to Scorpio energy as well. And it's coming into your 8th house. So that is the house where we could experience betrayal, trust issues. And that could have been very hard for you to let somebody in. It's almost like there's two different sides to you. It's almost like I see the personable, bubbly side of you that you may show, but there's a whole other layer to the Scorpio that the Scorpio doesn't show unless it really, really trusts you. That's the part you don't want to betray. And if you betray that part, I do not want to be around.
I know, and Jeff knows that.
I've been around.
No, but he
I haven't
knows.
been on the receiving end of it. I've just seen it.
Because he knows. I'm like, if you ever did something to betray me like so bad, and he knows. I'm like, you're done. Like, you're dead.
Yeah. and it's, you want to know what it is? It's a little bit of like a protection mechanism to protect yourself. But like I said, I say this, like, I wondered, but you know, for me personally, like, why do I have certain mechanisms like in me? Like, why did you develop that sort of characteristic? Like, why did that ability to just cut someone off and be like, I'm done, I'm not dealing with this. Where does that come from? And this is where I teach, like, that's where the past life stuff, we have to appreciate that some of these feelings that you have are so deep within your consciousness that it's not from this lifetime. And it's important to, like, certain fears and phobias that people have and stuff like that. It's so deeply written in our conscience that it can't possibly just exist from this lifetime, that there are countless lifetimes of things that we bring to the table. And so for you, I think that's totally your protection mechanism. And look at your life today. It has protected you from experiencing deeper betrayal. It has protected you so that you could stay, it's not necessarily guarded, but you allow yourself to be transparent and vulnerable with those people that you trust. And so it's protecting your heart. And you also have a Cancer moon, you're super sensitive. So the last thing you want to do is to feel hurt, because hurt for you really is a whole another layer of pain for you. It's very deep. And so I always say that with the Scorpio sun, but then a Cancer moon. It's like, it's hard. I get that. I have a Cancer moon too, so I totally understand. And
Yes.
you feel it deeply. And sometimes you just want to like you want to like kind of not, you almost want to control the outcome and the environment so I can protect myself from feeling that type of emotion again. Because it really does suck when you go through it. But
yeah.
What do you,
go ahead.
Oh, I wanted to say, like, what do you do when you're having a bad day, Richard? Do you ever go into the stars and say, listen, I want to figure out what's going on, and then something makes sense in your mind that you see, and you're like, oh, that's why this happened, or don't worry, tomorrow's going to be a better day? Like, do you work on yourself with all this stuff? I
do. So what I always say is that, like, if I'm having a bad day, this is for anyone listening too, when you're having a bad day, if you know your moon sign, it'll make you feel better. And I have both of your charts. So with Jordan, for an example, her moon is in the 6th house. If she's having a bad day, one of the things I would do is maybe putz around the house, clean, touch up, do something that like kind of like have that quiet time to kind of reorganize, or like move your furniture around, or like reorganize, redecorate, like do something like that could actually shift your energy very quickly. And
that's what I do.
I'm glad you said that, Richard, not me, because I was going to tell her to pick up a vacuum once in a while.
Yeah.
Today.
I'm just joking.
I clean today.
I'm kidding, Richard.
And it could be so peaceful for her. It's like her own inner therapy. And when you do your moon sign, you're making yourself feel better. So for anyone, even for myself, I always, when I know that it's a rough day, I do my moon sign work. So you know what your moon sign is. And for her, it's in the 6th house. For you, your moon sign is in your 11th house. So this is for Jeffrey. So at one level, again, you're a Gemini and you have a Gemini moon. You love your connections. You love your friendships. You love the people that you're around. Again, is that not similar to one of your children who loves his friends and his people? He likes to have those connections. And it's important for you. And so sometimes when you're feeling down or feeling bummy, just hanging out with a friend, talking to a friend, doing something with somebody could actually be game-changing for you. And it could totally just pick up the mood. It's like you just need somebody to shift the energy for you in that moment, and you're back in it. It's like, okay, I'm good. And so
Richard, that's him.
That's exactly right. That's crazy.
And
that's
so,
exactly what I do.
And if you have a bad day, do your moon sign, and it'll make a huge difference for your day. Now, there's some things in astrology, there's certain transits that last a while. So it's almost like, you know, if you're going through a Saturn transit or a Pluto transit, it could be a year to 2 years of your life where you have these changes that are showing up for you. And so while we go through changes, still, I would say, do your moon sign. Like if you're going through a difficult time, if you know that you're going through a divorce or going through a big breakup, or you know that you have a lot of family issues that are going on, you know, and you know that this isn't a short-term problem, it's a longer-term dynamic, you know, I think that's the lesson more than ever for you to take care of yourself and do that moon sign work, to do it more frequently, to take care of yourself, you know, doing more of those things. So for an example, like Jeffrey, if you know something's happening, you know, spend more time with your friends in those difficult moments, because it'll lighten the energy, even though you know that you're experiencing something challenging at the same time. This is for anyone that's listening. It's a really easy tip to make the day feel a little bit better.
How do you, so for someone listening or just for us how do you go about finding what moon your house is in? How do you go about and to find the charts that you're looking at right now? How could someone at home kind of do that to shift their energy if they're having a bad day?
Totally. So I always say this. So there's two different things. There are so many different apps and free websites that you can go to, and you could just type it in and go to like free astrology chart. But if you want to do this, you need to have an accurate birthday, an accurate birth time, and an accurate location. If you don't have an accurate birth time, there's something called a birth chart rectification. That can only be done with an astrologer that understands how that works. And that is a process of asking you major life questions. And then they piece together your chart based upon your life experiences. And the other thing is, truly, I can do this for anyone as well. So if they reach out to me over Instagram or email or my website, I would be more than happy to. I actually think I had someone that did that after our Big Brother episode. And I just went in, it takes me 2 minutes, and you could literally fill it out, email it to somebody. And if you're curious about like how it all works, that is what I do. Like we sit down and like, hey, your moon is in the 11th house. This is what this looks like. This is how this operates. I would just say it's better to talk to somebody who knows what they're doing than to try to find the information online. I don't trust AI at all. I'm against it. And so I'm a big advocate for, sitting down with me and having a conversation, and we can look at it and unpack what that looks like for you.
Right, because you explain what's happening and going in depth into things 100%. Instead of trying to figure it out on your own.
Yeah, you do a great job at explaining it all. But the last part I wanted to bring up is, do people come to you if they start dating someone
all the time, and
they're like, wait, am I compatible with this guy? Because him and I are complete opposite
100%.
of each other.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how.
100%.
I don't even know how we came together.
It's a beautiful.
But isn't there an attraction?
100%.
Right.
And it's a beautiful thing. But here's the thing. I would like to cross off the stereotype. We don't look at your birthday for compatibility. It doesn't work that way. So any of these apps or any of these people that are like, hey, you're a Gemini and you're a Scorpio, y'all don't click. That's not how it works. It's literally way more complex than that. There are so many other interlocking factors that come together. And so when I saw both of you together, yes, Geminis and Scorpios are actually in astrology are in two areas that would be considered like they annoy each other. Scorpios and Geminis can annoy each other to no end because Scorpios can be so deep and Geminis are so lighthearted and they just want to have fun. And so what happens is it gets complicated. But the thing is, Jeff has a lot of Cancer energy in him. He's a very soft person on the inside and wants that emotional energy and is willing to go. Like, I want to have fun, but there's also this whole other softy energy that goes inside of Jeff. And that is what attracts your energy to her. It's like because she has a Cancer moon. So she loves the fact that you have this inner softy, squishy energy. She loves it. And that's one of the biggest things is because you have that soft, compassionate energy. You have the heart that would love like a fire hose. You would give so much to somebody that you care for. But you will also push her outside of her comfort zone to have fun and be curious and let's do something different. Like, I just want to try this. And that's important for her because she needs to learn some of that energy as well from you.
That's so true. It's so when we first got together, weird. I don't know why. I used to love going and getting emotional by the ocean. Yeah. It was like a thing I used to do with my friends. Now everything going through my mom, I've been crying too much. So I'm trying to step back from that. Yeah. But I do push her to do new things because she's just a homebody. And she just wants to stay home and like be in her comfies. I just want to be my comfies and take a bath.
And that's her Cancer moon. I have a Cancer moon. I love that. Like if I know that I have a lot that's going on and I have a lot of work that I'm doing, you better believe that the people that are closest to me do not have access to me anymore. Like, I'm off grid. Don't talk to me. I'm done. I was like, don't even think about my name for the next 3 days. And I was just like, I'm going off the grid because I just want to be alone and do the self-care. And it's so important because it's my emotional recharge. It's her emotional recharge. It's just how we reset our energy because then it's like next week this is going to happen. And I want to make sure that I'm ready for that week or whatever it might be. That's
crazy.
Totally. That is so true. Yeah. If I've been around too much like social interaction, I'm like, all right, I'm done. Do not want to be around anybody for like a couple days. I need to reset and then
Social battery
like
is
he's going
empty.
back to Chicago in December. And I told him, I go, would you be mad at me if I don't go? I was like, it's like too much. I've already seen everybody. I was like, I'm fine just staying here by myself.
That's kind of weird, but it's something else.
For the Gemini, though, the Gemini's like, why? Like, let's all be social. Let's all get together. Let's do this. That's the Gemini in him. And then the part of her, it's like, again, I say blame the moon. It's her moon in her 6th house. What makes her feel good is like, she's like, what's more exciting for her than being home to clean, to reorganize, to move things around, maybe put out Halloween decorations. I don't know. It's like, that is very exciting for somebody like that. And so it's one of those things where, it's finding that balance between when the Scorpio wants to come out and play and when the Scorpio just wants to kind of go back into their shell and be like, okay, leave me alone.
Yeah, I'm still figuring that one out. I don't know if there's a chart big enough for that one.
And that's a part of it. What's so cool though is you guys are such great proof of how it coalesces together and how you both complement each other. Because it's almost like you have that ability to do so much work together, but at the same token, there's this knowingness like, I need to be alone for a little bit. I need to do this thing. And that's such a beautiful, healthy thing that I wish more people would do. So to answer your original question, people that come to me with dating questions, that is like probably one of the most common things I get all the time. I talked to like 3 people today and I was like, well, what's their birthday? What's going on here? Let's look at this. And they were like, well, mine told me I wouldn't be compatible with this person. I was like, that's BS. Stop listening to it. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
But it's cool because with that, you could see what are these karmic dynamics with each other? Like, where do you guys, is this a past life relationship? Is there some unresolved things that are bringing 2 people together? And, there's going to be some healing work here. Is this going to be a contentious relationship where we have like personality clashes or controlling issues or something like this? Those things you could see, but that's not just your sun sign, which would be like the Scorpio and the Gemini. It's so much more complex.
Wow.
It's very...
I could talk to you all day, but we got to wrap this up at some point. But you did say last time that you looked into our charts and there was some good news for the future, right?
100%.
We end on something like that.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, so totally. So one of the things with Jeffrey in particular, again, this is called transit. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at where the planets are today and looking at your chart to kind of see where these planets show up for you. You're going through a very exciting chapter of your life, which is called your Jupiter return. This happens once every 12 years. And Jupiter we can look at it as kind of like a gift giver, and he brings a beautiful beacon of light in our life to focus on things, like things that we didn't necessarily realize that we needed to focus on. And one of them for you began in the summer around your mother. That's what I was picking up on. I was like, there's a big focus for him on his mother energy right now. Now, the thing is that it's also coming into your placement that rules your money. So 2026 for me, for Jeffrey, a lot of focus for me on what's going on with, like, this should be opening money doors for you. So I'm would love to see if there's any new opportunities, any new projects that you have on the horizon. Specifically, this would be after February of 2026. So from November, I would say from the middle of October until February, there could be thoughts that are brewing, projects that are preparing, something like this. After February of next year could be very beneficial for some money projects. And that sets you up. Like I said, if you feel like it's been heavy, the lighter energy is coming. And you'll feel a lot better as this progresses for you. You're going to feel so good about this. So lots of good money energy, lots of good work energy for you, lots of focus on that. And I think that's going to pave way for a deeper relationship with your father. Like, that was something, not even knowing what was happening with your mom. That's a really big father transit. Spending more time with him, feeling that sort of like, I think all of us as human beings want to hear from our parents that they're proud of us. And I feel like that's kind of the energy that I'm getting from your dad with you, is him saying, like, I'm so proud of you. And I think that's such an amazing feeling. And that's kind of this journey that you're getting ready to. Well, you've already started it, but 2026 is that experience for you. And then
positive, I like it.
Great vibes. And with Jordan, what I love is these eclipses that are happening in the next 18 months. Big money stuff for you, like huge. Like, I want to February 17th and March 4th or 5th of next year, big energy for you. And you're entering a really big cycle about you, like a huge personal empowerment journey. And it's funny because you are a Scorpio. So you are all about, in a way, power. And you mentioned that you like control. But like, imagine this elevating for you, like even more opportunities. Like this could be a larger expansion in your work and your career, how you like to be perceived by people. You know, if you have any personal projects that you want to do, it actually would be a great time for a personal project. I don't know if you have any ideas that you're brewing, but it could be a great personal project time for you.
I do have one we're working on.
And we do have a couple.
I'm pushing it now.
And this would be, so if you're pushing, expect things to kind of pick up some momentum for you as the end of the year is coming. A great chapter, a great timeline for this would be, I'd like to see where you are at come summer of 2026. We're going through like a big shift astrologically at that time, and that's going to be one that's really exciting for you. So big personal power for you. Yes.
I'll take it.
It's great energy. I think you guys have both really good experiences that you're both preparing to go through. And so, like I said, if things have felt heavy, you know, it brings you closer together. It brings family closer together, and you're going to feel the lighter energy to come.
Oh, that's all things I needed to hear.
Yeah. I need to hear that too.
And what's important, what's really important in my life is just that family.
Yeah.
And us.
And you have angels on the other side that are working in your favor. So don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget that. You got energy that's working with you. And that's what I was talking about with one of your kids, is very connected to that energy. And so don't be surprised if one day you wake up and he's like, Dad, I had a dream of grandma. And you're like, oh, what? And so there are beautiful signs around you guys. So even in the difficulty, like I said earlier, there's your blessings are coming. So it's important to stay positive, like you said, and to stay optimistic and to stay hopeful, because I feel like y'all are entering a really exciting chapter together.
Well, I think that's a great place to put it down.
We're going to have you back on.
Yeah, we're going to have you back.
We're going to check back up with you.
I would love
again in months.
But again, Richard, how do people get in touch with you? Because I know a lot of people are going to want to talk to you.
I would love to. So you could follow me on Instagram at Richard James Astrology, or my website, which is richardjamesastrology.com.
All right. And then could they book private sessions with you?
Yep. So if you go to my Instagram or my website, there's literally my Instagram, there's a link. It's my link tree. You can click it. It brings you right to my calendar, or on my website, you hit book 1-to-1, and you could go ahead and find that right there.
Well, you're the best, man. I appreciate
Thank you so
I got to tell you, man, I'm not just saying because you're on and our guest. You were right on about everything that you said. I mean, about our kids, to our energy specifically. I mean, and so hopefully the future is right too. We'll walk through that door when it comes. But
when you were talking, I'm like, okay, I need to tell a couple of my girlfriends so they get a reading from you, and then we all discuss it, because that's normally what we do in like group chains. And I need them to get a reading from you so I can be like, guys, this is crazy. I mean, you were like so spot on.
It was very spot on. And I'm not just saying that because you're our guest. I'm saying that because whatever you're doing is exactly right on.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I really, really do. And I appreciate the both of you for bringing me here and being receptive to talking about this and being able to see the beauty of astrology. Again, there's so much magic, I feel like, here. And I love being able to share it with you guys and share it with everyone that's watching, so everyone can see that there's so much potential to learn not only about ourselves, but to become aware of these patterns that you're coming into, like the both of you. And I'd love to hear back from you. So let me know how things go. I'd love to hear your story. So I love when people come back and they're like, listen, this is what was happening. And I love hearing it. So please do.
And I love the positivity. Everybody go follow Richard. And we will have also on the YouTube underneath where you guys can book as well.
I have a prediction that me and Richard and Jordan are going to stay friends for a long time.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye,
Richard.
Richard.
Bye, guys.
Have a wonderful night.
You too.